Hello, this is Mrs. Brown, and I want to review today how to distribute a negative, because a lot of times this is where people trip up using the distributive property because they're not quite sure how to distribute the negative part. So let's take a look. Okay, it's just the distributive property. It just happens to be that the number we're distributing is negative. I'm still going to distribute that number to every single term. In this case, I've got 3 of them inside the parentheses. So -2, and remember terms are separated by addition and subtraction signs. So I'm just going to take it one at a time. A -2 times a -3, negative times a negative is a positive. That gives me positive 6x. Okay, and then I've got -2 times a positive 4, and a negative times a positive is a negative, so -8y. Now this is a minus sign, but remember I can think of it as plus a negative. It helps me especially to think of it that way when I am distributing, because subtracting a positive number is the same as adding a negative number. So -2 times -z, remember that's -1z. If there's no coefficient listed, there's no number, it's a 1. So -1z, -2 times -1 is positive 2z. Or I have this plus a minus, I could write it as 6x minus 8y plus 2z. Both are equally correct. Okay, let's look at another example. In this case, I've got 2 distributive property problems in the same problem. And I have 2 x's here, so after I distribute, I'm actually going to combine like terms. So I'm going to start with this first one, -4 times 2x and -4 times -3. Again, I'm going to think of that as plus a -3 because I'm less likely to mess up the distributing with the signs if I do that. So -4 times +2, a negative times a positive is a negative, is -8x. A -4 times a -3 is a positive 12 because a negative times a negative is a positive. Now this is where sometimes people mess up. They just put -5x. But this is like a 1, just like with z, where there was like an imaginary 1 there. There's 1 right there. So I'm distributing -1 to both of these, which means if they're positive, they're going to become negative. If they were negative, they become positive. So -1 times +5 is going to be a -5x. A -1 times a +6 is going to be a -6. And now I'm going to combine like terms. So I'm looking for things that I can put together. Well, I've got x and an x. So -8 and -5, when I add those together, it's going to give me -13x, because 8 plus 5 is 13. They're both negative. I'm getting more in the whole. And then I've got plus 12 and a -6. So positive 12 minus 6 is 6. And so this is my final answer when I've distributed and combined like terms. I hope this helps, and have a great day.